Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Isa. Okay, so today I have a question from Johnny. Thanks for sending in the question, Johnny. And the question is, what do I do if I'm just short on a deposit for my property? Well, let me answer this directly first. This is a little bit, there's more complications to my answer for this. So I'm going to target this from one angle, and then I might do another video to target it from another angle, okay? Just because it ended up being too much, yeah, at this particular point. But to answer your question, Johnny, just because you have or you don't have enough deposit, that shouldn't be an hindrance to you being able to invest. Does it make it harder? Absolutely, it does. Does it mean you need to look outside the square a little bit more? Absolutely, you do. But it doesn't mean that you need to stop. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you need to give up at this particular point. So there are definitely ways that you can continue to invest even if you don't have enough deposit, or even if you maybe don't have any deposit at all. However, that's for another conversation, okay? So we're just going to deal with, okay, what if you don't have enough deposit for the particular property you want? Particularly in markets where the market seems to be growing quite significantly, sometimes people get a whole lot of FOMO and they don't want to miss out on something, and they don't want to miss out, or they might have a great opportunity and they don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So how do you get in, not lose the opportunity, even if on paper you don't have everything what you need? Well, there are a few different strategies that you can apply. Now, please understand that I am not answering this from the point of view of how to get approved for finance from a bank just yet, because that is the other side of things. Yeah, there's another conversation in that, but I might tap into it a little bit at the end of this particular segment. But I'm going to give you a few tips, and these aren't all the answers. Yeah, but some of the easier answers for now, some of the easier solutions. If you don't have enough deposit, perhaps you're a little bit short or maybe even a lot short, there are several things that you can use, or several strategies you can use to still secure your property. One of the first ones one of the first ones is, whichever the right English is there, is that you can look at doing deals that are off the plan. Yeah, so you can negotiate on an off the plan property where you're able to put in less deposit. It doesn't have to be a full 10%. Sometimes it can be 5%. Sometimes it can be a whole lot less, or it can be not a particular percentage, but a specific number. You can negotiate whatever deposit that you want to put in. Now, if that property takes 12 months or more to build and complete, being off the plan, so I mean, say you're buying it from a plan, it's not yet built, that allows you the time to continue to save up your deposit, which will then, of course, give you the opportunity then to have everything that you need upon completion. But the beauty of that particular strategy is that if the market is on a rise, then you get all the upside. You're buying at today's price and getting tomorrow's value. So that is indeed a really good strategy. Does it come with risks? Absolutely, but I'll do another video on buying off the plan separately. Okay, so that is absolutely an opportunity, is buying off the plan. That allows you to get into a market, make the most of that market now anyway, even if the property is not yet built. Okay, now, second to that, very similar to buying off the plan, but same, different, yeah, is negotiating a long-term settlement on an existing property. So that allows you to secure the property, take the property off the market. You can put whatever deposit down as long as the vendor obviously agrees to that amount, and then you can negotiate the term of the settlement. Now, that might be a few months, it might be 6 months, it might be a year, or even more than that. Yeah, and that too gives you the opportunity to continue to save to get the rest of the capital that you need to complete that purchase. So that's another strategy that you could use, and that's for existing property. Another strategy, again, that you could use to help you secure a property even if you don't have the full deposit is vendor financing. And that is where technically you're borrowing off the equity that's in the property, yeah, and you're borrowing that from the original vendor. So you can negotiate to put a certain amount of deposit down. Sometimes you don't have to put any deposit down. Once again, the less you put in, the more complicated it can get. So you need to get the right legal and financial advice around that. But essentially, the vendor agrees that when you buy the property, There's two ways that you can do it. It can have a delayed settlement. So when you buy the property, you put X amount deposit down now. It could be as little as, $1,000. It could be less. It could be more. It could be, $10,000 or $20,000, depending on what the price of the property is. But let's say they require you to meet the gap of a full 10%. They'll say, okay, you've got 6 months, 12 months, whatever the time frame is you negotiate, to come up with the rest of the money and complete the purchase as well. Yeah. So essentially, it's like building your own off the plan strategy as well. Then there's the flip side of that, where you can get vendor finance. So in this case, which is another way of doing vendor finance, where the vendor will say, okay, you can buy the property now. Yeah. You get the loan from the bank. If the property, I'm just going to give you a number to make it nice and easy. If the property is $500,000 and you borrow $400,000 from the bank, you give the vendor the $400,000 straight away. The property is then transferred into your name, but you still owe the vendor $100,000, yeah, in difference. And that $100,000, he could charge you interest on top of that, or he might not charge you interest, but he has a certain time frame in which you need to pay him back. That too is a form of vendor finance. So there are certainly different ways that you can enter the property market even without a full deposit. Obviously, you need to do this with caution. You need to get the right advice, and you need to make sure that your strategies are tight. So really do speak to a professional, and more importantly, speak to someone that's actually done it. We're here to help you if this is something that you would like to understand and do, and we can guide you along the way, along with getting your own independent legal and financial advice. I hope that is helpful to you, Johnny, and to the rest of you out there. I look forward to chatting to you next time.